All right, Kevin, it's all you.
All right. I'm Kevin Barber. I'm the business manager here at the Ironworkers Local 397. We're located in Tampa, Florida. If you're coming from Pasco County, we're at I-4 and 75. We're off of Highway 92 near the Hard Rock Casino. That's where all of our training is that I'll talk about tonight. That's our main location. That's where we dispatch as well. What I want to talk about tonight is the opportunity for your student. That they have after high school. And first thing I'd like to say is they have to be 18 years of age and have a driver license and social security card. That's how they fill out an application. And we do that Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. Uh, Once they complete that, then they'll be invited to an informational meeting or orientation, which our next one is May 8th. So if you have a senior this year, I'd recommend them to be here May 8th, probably around 3 p.m., 4 p.m., to fill out an application. And then they can bring anyone, they can bring the parents, whoever they like, to sit in on that orientation. Once they get the orientation completed, then they will start online training, which is a pre apprenticeship program, and there's some in person training as well. We moved to online training for the pre apprenticeship because there's a lot of work right now, and we need people on job sites making a living. So that's how they'll get started. The pre apprenticeship, basically, they're going to talk about a lot about training. There's a lot of OSHA 10, OSHA 30, fall protection. Also, we're going to teach them, uh, believe it or not, but they have to have life skills. So we teach them financial literacy. They're going to make a lot of money, so don't go out and buy a truck, don't buy a boat. Try to save your money and get through the apprenticeship program. We're going to teach them, fuel your truck up the night before, lay your clothes out, make sure you know what job site you're going to, make your lunch, all that good stuff to get started. And the pre apprenticeship is 6 months. So once they complete that, I want to say it's around 9 weeks of training, and then the rest will be OJT. Then once they complete the pre apprenticeship program, then they will move to an interview. And then after the interview, they will go into our core training. As you can see on the screen, we start out at $18 an hour, plus they receive health care. And healthcare is an extra $6.25 an hour, which is paid by the contractor. So the member will receive $18 an hour starting out, not knowing anything. Once they go into the core training, we have a 4-year apprenticeship program. It doesn't cost the member anything. Our contractors pay per hour into the fund, which pays for all the apprentices' school and training. They will receive welding certifications, OSHA, fall protection, MSHA, false fate training. There's a lot of there's multiple certifications that they will receive. Uh, how we're structured is they're going to go to school for 2 weeks. Uh, Once they complete school for 2 weeks, they'll receive 100 hours of training in those 2 weeks here at our facility, and then we're going to send them to a job site. They're going to work for 5.5 months, making whatever their pay rate is. And then after the 5.5 months, they come back again for 2 weeks of class. Our classes are structured where it's about 30% online training of learning the subject that we're teaching, and then 70% of their training will be hands on. We do have mock ups. We have a 35-foot tall structural steel mock up. It's like a 35-foot tall Lego set. They're going to take it down, put it back. Then second year, as you can see, they're going to get a raise. So they're going to be $20 an hour plus their health care. And then third year apprentice, $22.50. Fourth year of their school, they're going to be at $29.25 an hour. And then once they graduate, depending on what job site they go on, they're going to be making $29.25 an hour to $35.25 an hour. And that's what will be on their paycheck. As you see below, you'll see health insurance, pension, annuity. That's part of their fringe package. So their total package, once they graduate, will be around $54 an hour, $55 an hour. Health insurance, after 750 hours worked, they receive health insurance. As you continue on, if you start a family, then your spouse will be covered. If you have no kids to 20 kids, all your kids are covered under the healthcare plan. It doesn't cost you a dime because it is negotiated by the contractors with the union. Pension. Pension is key. I tell every young person, whatever job that you pursue, try to have a retirement because you're going to thank us later on when you get in your career. But a pension is basically once you graduate, a pension is every hour that you work, they're going to put $5.50 an hour into the bank. So imagine you working 30, 40 years, putting $5.50 into the bank. And then when you're ready to retire at age 59, they're going to calculate all those monies. And then you're going to receive a benefit check every month for the remainder of your life. If you have a spouse, if you pass away, then your spouse will receive a check for the remainder of her life or his life. Also, an annuity is a supplement to our retirement plan. So every hour you work, there's $5.15 an hour going into the bank as well. And once you retire, say 30, 40 years, whatever monies you put into the bank, plus you're gaining interest, we average about 10% interest. You can either take that in lump sum or you can put that in a monthly benefit. If you work around 30 years at the rate that we have now, you'll be around $700,000 in your annuity. But if you work overtime, of course, it's going to increase. So you work to your 59, you get a pension check, you get an annuity check. You don't have to work anymore the rest of your life. That's our main goal. As a young person, it's hard to show them that they're going to get this, but after about 7 to 8 years, we start seeing our members seeing it grow, and then it kind of they kind of understand why we push it so hard. Far as apprenticeship training, the first class is reinforcing steel, is because we install rebar into concrete slabs. We build bridges like the Howard Franklin. We're on the Howard Franklin Bridge. And we also work in a lot of industrial plants doing concrete steel for there. And then the second class will be structural steel. So if you look at a hospital or you see a stadium or a roller coaster, any kind of expansion with steel beams, we're the ones that set the main structure of a building. So we use cranes with the operators, and we set the steel bolted up, and then all the other crafts come in and finish their work. We cover the west coast of Florida, so we're from Crystal River down to Fort Myers, and we have over 700 members here locally that are part of our union, and we have about 150 contractors here locally. Then the next class will be architectural ornamental in their apprenticeship. If you ever been in a parking garage, we set those big pieces of concrete, and then wherever they set the steel plates in there, we weld them out. We also do the layout of the building, the elevations. We also do the architectural ornamental, like in hospitals, all the decorative concrete that are on the side of buildings. We also set those as well. And then the ornamental, we do a lot of glass work. So if there's any building that's over 4 stories, we would set that glass in that building. We also do handrail. We do glass handrail, anything to do. And then rigging and cranes, that's very important for us, because if there's any rigging or anything in the ports or in the power plants or anywhere that's ironworker work, so we're the ones that are certified and do all the rigging with the cranes. And then as you move into your 4th year, that's when we get into the blueprint training. Also, we added foreman training because we need leaders in our industry. So we're going to give them all the tools that they can to succeed. Now, if you see on the sheet, you'll see weld cert in parentheses. That means if they come to us and they already have that, that's where they will start out at. But if they come to us as a 1st-year apprentice And with an incentive, if they come into our weld shop and practice on their own time, which we have a welding inspector on staff at all times, if they end up completing all their welding early, we will eliminate that 4th year of apprenticeship and they can complete the whole program in 3 years. All they have to do is show up every day early and work their butt off. That's all we ask. I would say just 95% of our iron workers are hands-on. So everything we do, we're not going to give them a book and say read it or computer. They're going to be out there actually doing it in our training center, and then they're what we teach in our training center, they're going to be doing on a job. And we take pride in being a union because a lot of our older journeymen or retirees, they don't want to come back to work or they're ready to retire, but they want to keep their pension going. So they're going to share all their knowledge with our younger people so they can continue on our tradition, as we've been around 100 years here in Tampa, and we've been teaching apprenticeship since 1958. We've won many awards in the area, also international. Since we're a union, we're part of the International Ironworkers. So that means that if somebody starts with our program, say they're here with 5-10 years, they're not stuck in Tampa for their whole life. They can go to any local union throughout the United States and Canada. They can work out of those local unions, building whatever projects they have, making their wage rates and benefits. Of course, the North local unions make a lot more money than we do. I think New York City is like $160 an hour or something like that. But this can always be their home local and they can travel. Or if they want to end up moving up there, they can move up there as well, and they'll still be part of our Ironworkers Union, and their benefits will follow them wherever they go. May 8th is an important date if you have a senior. Like I said, the parents can come with the participant, see if it's a good fit. We can give you a tour of our training center. We have 2 instructors on staff at all times. If you can't make it May 8th, we also do another one in October, I think it is, October and November. We do them every 6 months. So if it's not a good fit for now, then they can come in October and start next January. If you have a junior, then basically next May, you would want to get them in to start their training. And then let me see what else. And on the job training, like I said, they're going to be working, say, 11 months out of the year, making a paycheck. And then they're going to be going to school for 4 weeks a year, which is here at our facility at I-4 and 75. As they graduate, we're going to find them work throughout their career. So we don't just train people and then send them on to go find a job site. So once they sign an application with us and accept and go to the apprenticeship program, then they're with us their whole career. Like I said, until they retire at 59, or if they love it so much they want to keep working. But that is basically how we're structured on the apprenticeship program. Sorry, I was trying to make it quick, but I don't know if we have any questions.
I will go back to where I can see the chat in just a moment, but I do have a question. So I think what I hear you saying too is there could be a lot of variety in the work that somebody does. So let's say a job takes a week to do, you might be working with one crew or a group of people, and then there might be another job that you get assigned to. Like, what's the average job take or
We have some members that are with contractors and they'll move job to job locally in the area. They could be with them their whole career. They could be a 5 years. Like we
Okay.
built Raymond James Stadium. Once the
Mhm.
stadium was built, it was an out of town contractor. So they sent them back here. They went back out of town, and then we sent them to another contractor here locally. So every
Okay.
job could differ depending on what it is. Work is so busy right now, they leave from one contractor and they continue with that contractor throughout. Like we built the Kirkland Ranch High School, we built the school next to it,
Mhm.
we built the
Yep.
Advent Health, we built quite a few projects in the area, and they just moved from job to job.
Excellent.
And what's
Okay.
key about iron workers is we have so many different facets to our trade. That welding is on every job, but it's just a small facet of our trade because there's so many different things involved.
There is one question in the chat that is, it says, or John Staples says, I don't see GED or high school diploma. Is that a requirement or just 18 years old, driver's license and social security?
I'm supposed to say yes, but I will say no. It's not required.
It's preferred?
Preferred, yes. Preferred.
Okay. Yep.
And we have apprentices from 18 years of age to 55. But if your student is 17 and going to graduate in June, they can start the training for the pre-apprenticeship early. And then once they turn 18, we'll send them to work, but they can start the training from there.
Okay. You were saying about how busy you are. Are there any downtimes where it is difficult to find a job?
It hasn't been difficult here to find a job probably in the last 10 years. Usually it gets a little slow around Christmas, but we haven't experienced that in probably about 5 years. And right now we have, I want to say about 4 years worth of work on the books, which is unheard of in construction, but they're building so much in Tampa.
Yes, it's
And
a
we
growing
also
area.
have a local union over in Orlando. So a lot of our members, they go back and forth because Disney World isn't too far from us. So some of them want to go build a big roller coaster, different things like that. So there's a lot of opportunities through Central Florida. And we do have some contractors that once they get their key people, they don't want to lose them. So they will travel the state or Southeast. And that's up to the member if they want to travel. If they do, they give them per diem. Also, they give them a room, and they just continue staying with that company. With us, we do a lot of structural work, but we also do industrial work. So we work in power plants like Gatorade, Tropicana juice plants, water treatment plants. We do a lot of industrial work as well. And that's where the higher pay is. And once they graduate, like I said, they're around $55 an hour total package. And as a union, we negotiate every year, so we have contracts, so we usually get a wage increase every year. And I will say we are strict because the contractor is putting a lot of money into the individual. So they have to be at school. They can't miss school. Once you're late 3 times, you have to come in front of the committee, explain yourself because they're spending around $45,000 per student. So we take it pretty serious. They have to participate, and there's no goofing off or any of that stuff. So we got to make sure, like in our schools, there's no cell phones. You know, we're pretty strict on everything that we do.
Excellent. When does health insurance kick in?
After 750 hours, they have health insurance, and that'll be throughout their whole career as ironworking. And we also do tours. So if you want to come with your student, or if the student wants to come by themselves, we do tours of our training center so they can come in, check out the building, go through our school, and see if it's a good fit. Like I said, we have instructors on staff at all times. You can either call here at the office, call my cell, email, or if you show up between 8 and 4, just let me know, and then we can get you back there and show you the training center. And we do have a website. Hopefully it's up to date. But IWL 397, there's some videos on there as well. There's some cool stuff there because we just celebrated our 100th year anniversary.
And I believe also on the flyer, there are those QR codes. I think this says, watch the video and see us on YouTube. This flyer, for anybody that wasn't part of the previous session, is actually located in the SCED where you registered for this session. There is an attachment, a link for this flyer for this information.
And it's a great career. I have 4 boys and 3 of my sons are iron workers. So, luckily I
Excellent.
they didn't have to borrow any money. They didn't have to do any of that. They have their own house and they're under, 24 years old. So I'm very proud of them.
That's worth every bit right there.
And we hear a lot of students that say, "Hey, I just don't want to go to school anymore." And that's how we're structured. There's some classroom, but most of it you're going to be hands-on out back, try to figure it out, situations, a lot of different things like that. So, and we have some members that make journeyman make 75,000 a year, and we have some that travel throughout the United States to the nuclear power circuit, and they make about $250,000 a year.
All right. So we have about 4 minutes left in this session. Yep, John says, thank you for the information and your time. If there are any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Mr. Barber, and this session will be recorded, so I know that within a couple of days or so, these sessions should be up again on the Pasco County College and Career site. So if you want to re-listen to this and I know that the second time I heard it, I got even more information. That's a possibility for you. So.
And to let you know, this isn't a company base or any of that. We are registered through the state of Florida, so there will be a state registered apprentice. So it's not just a fly-by-night type thing. We're going to put them to work and they'll be registered through the state of Florida.
How long has Iron Workers been around? Like, when did it originally start?
1896.
It's been around a long time. Okay, so
Started
very established.
up in Pittsburgh.
Well, that makes sense.
We have 140,000 members.
Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, Pittsburgh was like the industrial place to be.
There's a lot of construction projects now. Tampa's growing, so it's going to continue growing, and
I think this is a great area to be in with Iron Workers because of the growth that we are having. I mean, there are so many people that have moved in, the home, the constructions of buildings and schools, and so everywhere I look, there's something new happening.
And we have some members that they love to travel, so they went, they're building all these football stadiums. Like we built the Cowboys. They built the one up in Atlanta, Vegas.
Wow.
We have some up there building the Tennessee Titan Stadium right now. We're looking at the Rays and the USF Bull Stadium here.
Yep. So. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I thank you so much for presenting. I know that I learned a lot from it, and if there isn't anything else or any other questions, that's going to wrap up tonight's session.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.